Lisa. These photos were taken at a local rock quarry that has been turned into a park. And I've known about this place my whole life, but the park is a fairly recent thing. But I didn't know that it had been turned into a park. And it was kind of one of these great discoveries when somebody told us about it. And finally we went over there on a Sunday morning and went hiking. And it was just like with this really neat place. It's almost in our backyard, you know, maybe 10 miles or so to drive to go to a great hiking place. This is the bottom where you can see the rock. And then when you're up on the top, you walk around here and then up on this ledge. You can see us climbing. They have the county's done a really nice job with it, but you still got, you know, to scale the rock and to some degree, not scale the rock, but walk up the edge of the rock. I will never be scaling rock, I can assure you. But this is the view from the top, and it's really a neat place to go. So what I want to do with this page, I was looking at this and trying to kind of figure out what memory I wanted to capture. That's what my new class is all about. The living page is capturing a memory with all the components of your page so that when you look back at it 5, 10, 20 years later, you just go back to that moment and you can really relive that memory. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to remember about this? Do I want to remember the rock? You know, embellishments with rocks are not particularly easy to do. I didn't have any paper with a rock theme to it. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with this? But what I really want to remember about this is just that it was a great discovery to find a nice park close by that we can go hiking. Unfortunately, it got really hot after we were over there, and we haven't been back, but we are going to. Now that the weather's cooling down, my husband mentioned it the other day, and so we're definitely going to go back and do some of the other trails here. So it was just a really good discovery, and so I started looking through my embellishments and all. I started going through some background papers, and I'll get to those in just a moment. But I started going through my embellishments because there's not much color here. Everything is neutral, but it doesn't have to stay neutral. It was a very happy day. It was a pretty relaxed day. And we talk about that in the class about what color can mean and setting a tone and things for your page. But what I'm looking for here are some embellishments that will kind of remind me of that. And I really liked this one that says, enjoy the journey. These are some new to me things from that My Mind's Eye warehouse box that I got. There's Follow Your Heart, and there was another one. Oh, I liked the rainbow with the clouds, you know, kind of your almost like finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There wasn't a rainbow that day, but I thought that was kind of a neat one to use as opposed to the cloud with the, I noticed that before, the cloud with the lightning on it. But there's a lot of fun embellishments here. So I thought I could pull out a few pieces of this chipboard and build some embellishment groups from there, and that would help me tell the story. Now for background papers, I have this sort of pebbly looking paper here. For a background. It's not quite the right shade of gray. It's okay. It's just, there's nothing really exciting me about that. I also tried this blue. I've had this really true blue paper from Stampin' Up! For a long time, but it's almost too much blue. It was a beautiful blue sky day, but this, I don't know, there's just something about that that's just a little heavy, I think. So I've also got this paper, which I tried using in one of my previous layouts from My Mind's Eye. It also came in that box from Cut and Paste. It was the only piece of paper in there from Cut and Paste. Is this pretty wood grain, and I kind of like that. I like the light color, really makes the photos pop. I considered also arranging the photos a little bit different way, but I wanted to kind of show the view from the top and the view from the bottom, and so I thought that arrangement helped tell the story a little bit better. So I kind of like that one. I also tried, this was the first thing I tried, was this paper with the leaves, because most hiking, at some point we're up in the trees, and we were. It wasn't all just a rocky area. We did hike up in the trees, but that paper just sort of takes over. So I didn't really like it all that much. Kind of liking this. I could also do a cardstock background, of course. I think one or the either this or cardstock background. So since that's also from my mind's eye, let me pull out some embellishments and start to kind of put together what I think I want my page to look like. I'm thinking about the title. I did just some scribbled sketch here, but I haven't drawn it up yet. I'm thinking about the title here and maybe here, and doing some kind of pullout for my journaling, because I've got a lot of photos on this page. This could easily be a 4x6 photo page, and then maybe another little extra photo, or use this block down here for a journaling card. These are 3x4s. So when you're looking at this sketch later on, when I publish it in my sketchbook, that's another way to interpret the sketch, is to do a 3 photo and then maybe a journaling card to go with it. That would be another look. But as it is, I'm going to have 5 photos here, and so I don't really have a lot of room for journaling, so I may just do some kind of a pull-out. So next I'm going to go through this chipboard. In addition to the 2 I identified, there's another one. There's some word ones that I kind of like, and also there's this black and white heart that I like, and I pulled those arrows out to see if those would work. The black and white heart it starts this process where I start to use a lot of black accents on the page, and that kind of goes with all that gray rock, and it really pulls things together. Kind of going for the typical 3 embellishments placed across the page to give the triangle effect and lead the eye through. I need some long strips of paper, so I'm in my yellow and orange paper drawer. This is where paper goes once it's been broken down from a collection. I organize it by color, and there's stuff that's been in here for years because some of these patterns I just use little bits of them here and there. And some things are in whole sheets. And it had been a while since I had gone through this particular drawer, so I took the opportunity to organize a little bit and get out any of the small pieces that I wanted to use and put all the rest of the small pieces on top and the solid papers on the bottom. That's how I normally organize these drawers. The neutral drawers, I tend to keep the full sheets on the top since I use those a lot for backgrounds. Now I added some greens here, some sort of slightly aqua greens that I thought would work as well. And these are just the colors that came out of the embellishments, since everything in the photos is very neutral, from the scenery, our clothes, everything. So those are the strips that I want to use. And I got started thinking that I might need a little bit of black accent with this, and maybe just do a little black border on each strip. So I narrowed it down to one piece of 12 by 12 paper, what was originally 12 by 12. It's a very fancy paper, but it's going to be cut in small strips, and you're not going to see that elaborate print. It's just going to look like black and white, and that's exactly what I'm going for. So I cut these, I think about 2.5 inches wide, and then I'm going to add a little bit of black on the back of them in strips, and I'm getting the length down that I want. Now the one in the middle I'm going to make a little bit wider because it's going to have some journaling peeking out behind it. And that yellow one on the bottom can only be so wide because I don't have very much of that paper left. Here's the little strips of black paper. And one of them had kind of a torn place in there. I'll have to come up with a way to cover that up. I can't remember. I think I did finally cover that little piece up. I could have cut the black strip or went and cut a different one, but I figured it would get covered up somehow. So we're ready to assemble, and I want to center these. They are different widths, but we're just doing a center design going up the page. And the photos are all 4 inches high, so they're going to stretch from the very bottom to the very top of the paper. And I'll put my title on top of some of the photo. Now that green one in the middle, because it's going to have some journaling on the coming out from it,
One, I've got a little too wide. I'm going to have to trim it off. And I'm also going to use a different kind of adhesive behind it. What I like for these kind of things is a really strong adhesive. This is Creative Memories. I have some of that red sticky tape, but I have yet to use it because I still have my Creative Memories photo tape. I think the second or third roll I've had of it over the years. I don't know if they still even make it, but a roll lasts forever, which is good because it's expensive. But I just use it for this kind of thing. And that's what's going to cover up that little torn place in the black trim is this rainbow. I wasn't certain once I got this together, but then I decided, yeah, I like the rainbow. I wanted to use that. And I don't want to cover up the black and white heart, so I'm going to put the words underneath it. The title is going to say Practically in Our Backyard. And so I have some foam thickers that I have lots of letters of. The only thing I didn't have was a T, so I took an F, cut the top off of it, and then put one of the dots to sort of extend the top. So I cut the curly top off the F, and then so it still had the cross in the bottom, and then just add a little more to the top and made a T. These letters are very, very old basic gray. They're chipboard, so they kind of go with the rest of the chipboard elements. And so I'm spelling out backyard. And I decided to leave the little bits in the center to make them show up a little bit more. All right, I've got my journaling typed there, and my chipboard is so sticky that I actually had to back it with some regular paper so that I could have it to where it pulls out. You'll see in just a moment that part of it is attached to the section with the journaling and part of it is loose, so it kind of slides in underneath that pocket I created for it. I had a sticker that said Rock Collection, so that was an appropriate one. We're just going to add a couple more things here, a camera and some enamel dots, just to do a few small embellishments to sort of tie all of these sections together.
I added a few enamel dots just to kind of can bring these three groups together, and one here in the middle of this little camera that I glued on. And so we have several stickers, chipboard pieces as our embellishment group, and this one functions as the journaling, as a tag to pull the journaling out. And I think the title kind of brings this all together and really says what we were thinking is how close this park is, and we can take advantage of that as a good hiking place that's close to home and something that's really different than most of the places that we go. So it was a fun page to do. Got to use some of that new chipboard and pull some things out of my by color drawers that I need to work through periodically. Some of these papers I have had a really long time. I think that one was originally part of a Halloween collection. I don't even remember where most of these came from. I've had them so long, but they work out well with all these neutral photos to give them some color for a cheery, happy page. So thanks so much for watching. I have a new class called The Living Page with 10 brand new step-by-step process videos. I go through a lot more detail in those than I do in my regular process videos. There's sketches for each one, and it's all about looking back in time, when you look back, years from now at your pages, and just being in the moment and remembering exactly what that memory was about. And that's what we're doing in that class, is really creating pages that do that come alive for us. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.